Welcome to the Infinitum Fan Selection Tool training. The Fan Selection Tool, FST for short, empowers you to instantly build fan assemblies to best fit your application and requirements. Configure your wheel, motor, analyze performance data, generate a professional submittal, and request a quote all in one place. If you don't already have access to the FST, visit our website and register for an account. Once you're in the tool, you'll see this main interface here with three primary buttons. The search button on the left is where you'll start building your fan system. In the center is projects, where you'll store a saved list of fan system projects. On the right is your account, where you can modify your profile. We're going to start making a fan selection by clicking search. This opens the main input form. The fan search screen has three main sections. On the left is the search values window, where you will enter the required performance and other design criteria. The window in the middle is the results window. Once you've made a search, the fan results will populate with fans that match the chosen search values. When a fan is selected, the motor results tab will populate with available motor options at the bottom. On the right is fan details, which will appear after a fan is selected. This window contains a variety of details on the selected fan system for you to evaluate during the selection process. Let's walk through a typical search workflow, starting in the search values window on the left. First, we'll enter our required airflow and our system static pressure. These are your primary duty point parameters. Next, we'll enter our site conditions: operating temperature, elevation above sea level, and relative humidity. The tool uses these inputs to calculate air density and applies that density when searching for fan matches. The fan range field lets you filter by wheel design. Infinitum currently offers three centrifugal fan options: two airfoil designs, the O1 and O3, and one backward curve design, the O2. If you have no preference on design, leaving this set to all by just clicking off here is the best approach. It ensures you see every available option and can compare by cost and performance. When needed, filter for one or more wheel designs by selecting them in the fan range dropdown. If I want to remove it, just click the X. Fan count allows you to specify an exact number of fans you want in your array, 1 through 64, or you use one of the built-in optimization presets. Auto Most Efficient prioritizes fan efficiency index or fan efficiency. Auto Least Fans will minimize the fan count for simpler arrays. Auto Quietest prioritizes the low sound power levels. Fitbox and Fitbox Justified will constrain results to fans that physically fit within a cabinet you define. If you choose Fitbox, enter your available cabinet dimensions. The tool will filter results so that only fan count and diameter options that fit within our recommended minimum spacing populate in the results. The tool assumes a minimum center-to-center spacing of fan wheels of 1.8 times the wheel diameter and 0.9 times the wheel diameter from the cabinet wall. More on this later. If your project requires fan redundancy, you can specify that in the failures dropdown. Options include none, fan count sized exactly for the duty point, N-1, one fan can drop out and the remaining fans will ramp up to meet that duty point, or N+1. An additional cold spare fan is included in the array, where only N fans operate at one time, but N+1 fans are returned in your quantity and on your drawing. Once you've selected all of your other priorities and your redundancy, we can then look at wheel diameter. The current offering from Infinitum is 18 to 27-inch centrifugal fans of those three designs I mentioned before. If I want to filter by a specific wheel, I can choose that. I can multiple select, and if I want to clear them, I can do that. If nothing is selected, we'll see all the available fan wheel diameters. I'm actually going to change this number so we get multiple fans. Once we're satisfied with our search, we can go down here to the bottom and hit search. The tool will find all available fan configurations capable of meeting the specified search criteria and populate those options in the fan results window. Each result shows a model number, performance information, fan quantity, operating speed, wheel diameter, and a relative cost value. Click at the top of each column to sort fan results using that value. Let's decode a sample model. In this case, we have EF71XX03. EF stands for infinitum fan assembly. The next two digits, 71, stand for the first two digits of the wheel diameter measurement in millimeters. 710 in this case, equating to a 27-inch fan. XX is the motor placeholder. This gets filled in once you select a motor in the next step. 03 is the wheel design, going back to the fan range that we talked about before. For detailed cost comparison, click the $ at the top right of fan results to open the cost analysis. This brings you to the cost versus FEI scatter plot, with cost on one axis and fan efficiency index, or FEI, on the other. Often the goal is the bottom left, lowest cost, highest efficiency. Click on any point in the chart to select that fan. The tool will highlight the corresponding result in your list. For an alternate view, click Cost versus Power to bring up the array level input power chart and directly compare energy consumption. Cost over here, and now we have FEP, or fan electrical input power, on the bottom axis. Once you're finished, you can return to the fan performance results by clicking the $ in the top right. Once you've selected a fan, the Motor Results tab will appear. Here you'll choose the specific motor to pair with your selected fan assembly at the required duty point. The motor operating point will populate next to Motor Results up here at the top. There are a few options to consider when selecting a motor. System type filters results based on the desired infinitum motor line. Select MC for our active front-end harmonic mitigation solution. Select EC for our standard Aircore EC motor offering. Voltage filters motor results by the appropriate input voltage for your application. Few options there. RPM filters results by the nameplate speed of the selected motor. More on this here in a second. Finally, communication, or COM, specifies the control type. By default, infinitum motors support Modbus RTU and analog digital control. If your control system requires BACnet, select that option here. Once you've set your filters, it's time to review the motor results. One of the most important decisions to make is whether you select a custom or standard motor. A standard motor, in this case our 5 horsepower 2400, we see the motor curve here on the right. A standard motor is nameplate rated to its full horsepower and speed, giving you maximum headroom and flexibility. A custom nameplated motor is rated to exactly the duty point required, reducing full load amps to match exactly what the application needs. You can see our FLA result there. Custom nameplating is done entirely in software. Same motor, different programming and label. The benefit is a lower FLA in the nameplate, which can simplify electrical design and panel sizing. Trade-off is reduced headroom. If the installed system needs more speed or torque than the duty point allows, a custom nameplate motor has no buffer, as we see here on the curve. Our general recommendation, always select to your worst case duty point. If you're unsure, the standard motor gives you the highest safety margin. As you complete your fan and motor selection, several tabs populate here on the right side of the screen. The fan chart displays a multiple fan flow rate and pressure curve. If you've selected N-1 redundancy, there will also be a fan chart just beneath this tab for the redundant condition that shows the fan curve when one fan has dropped out. Fan sound contains sound power data. Fan information includes fan specifications, images, and documentation. Go here for detailed drawings and step files. The schematic drawing shows the recommended array drawing. More on this later. Motor details, in this case populated with our selected motor, includes motor specifications and the motor operating curve based on our motor selection. And finally, the solution efficiency / FEI tab includes wire to air efficiency and the full fan assembly FEI, plus the equations that we use to calculate various performance values. Let's navigate back to the schematic drawing. This view shows a suggested physical layout of your fan array. If needed, you could alter the arrangement of rows and columns by altering them here. The dimensions shown on the bottom and left side of the top left drawing view represent the minimum interior cabinet size to maintain the recommended 1.8 times fan diameter center to center spacing, not the physical footprint of the individual fan assemblies. The dimensions on the top and right side of the same view indicate the measurements of an individual fan assembly. Once you've reviewed the fan specifications and honed in on your desired fan assembly, you're ready to generate documentation. This datasheet view at the bottom right will populate. The datasheet is a multi-page PDF document that covers everything an engineer or specifier needs to review and approve the selection submittal. The datasheet includes a title page with project name, date, and tag, and a space for your company logo, a table of contents, a performance sheet showing array airflow, static pressure, speed, FEI, power, and FLA at the design point, and for your N-1 condition if redundancy was specified, an array fan curve, motor model, and custom nameplate details, including rated speed and FLA, sound power in octave bands, a connection diagram for wiring the motor and drive, the schematic layout drawing, and a notes and deviation section. Before exporting, we recommend adding this selection to a project, including a tag and writing any notes that should appear on the datasheet. These will be saved to the project and will appear on the exported PDF submittal. To do this, hit the Save button on the right side and fill out the information in the pop-up window. Hit New to create a new project for your submittal. And enter the project name. Fill out a tag. Add any relevant notes. Don't worry, all of this can be quickly and easily edited later if something changes. Once you've added the relevant information, click Add and go to Project. Select OK if you've created a new project, and you'll be taken to the project that we've created for our selection. Here we can edit the project name, add a project number, phase, and description, and edit or add selections. Find the selection you just created here under Demo 1, and click Datasheet to return to the submittal view. To download the PDF document, click Download PDF. The file will be saved to your Downloads folder. The file name will include the project title and the equipment tag you entered, making it easy to track. When ordering, be sure to include the fan model number from the top of your submittal and attach the submittal for your sales rep. This will ensure we can provide you with exactly the system you've selected. Once your submittal is finished downloading, click Go Back to return to the project screen. Each project can contain multiple selections or submittals, which can be added by selecting Search from the project screen, starting a new search from the main screen and saving it to your project, or by cloning an existing selection. Press Reselect to automatically search using the conditions specified for the selection. Note that if you save a selection while reselecting, the existing selection will be overwritten. Once you've populated your project with all of the selections and equipment you need, you're ready to request a quote directly from the tool. Click Submit Quote to automatically notify your sales rep with the selections from your project. We'll review and confirm your selections and send a quote back to you. We review every quote selection for technical accuracy, so if you're unsure about a feature, make your best selection, note your concern, we'll flag and review it during the review process. That covers everything you need to get started with the Infinitum Fan Selection tool. If you run into anything unexpected, a bug, missing feature, or just a question, use the Report a Problem button under your account or reach out to your Infinitum representative. We look forward to working with you, and thank you.